One, two. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet. Unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
It would really help if one of us was on the stream. That's all right. The audio listeners will know nothing. They will be none the wiser. It will be our little secret live stream viewers. You're listening to episode 360 of the PHP Ugly podcast. A podcast that focuses on the PHP programming language, the surrounding community, and the businesses we run on top of it. I am your host, Eric Van Johnson, and our show, our podcast, whatever you want to call it, is made a little better every week thanks to the help of a couple sponsors, PhpStorm, honeybadger.io, and PHP Architect, as well as several special supporters on Patreon. And we will discuss all of them a little later in the show. For now, is that it? Is that all I feel like I say more. Oh yeah, if you want to be part of the live show, the live stream, if you want to participate in all this, you can join us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. There's chatter going back and forth all show long. If you're watching the live stream, that's what you see on the side there is the chatter in our Discord. But that Discord hangs around all week. And some great people in there helping each other out, just having discussions every day on what's happening. Great community. I'm very happy with the community we've built in the PHP Ugly Discord. As well as suggest titles. If you're in Discord, if this is your first time being a part of this and you're in our Discord, you can suggest titles by doing a bang title and then your title suggestion. You'll see other people suggesting titles as they go along. For now, I would like to introduce, John's already laughing. I don't know what I've missed already, but yeah, John Congdon.
I was just wondering if the show is ever going to start.
You're more than welcome to do the intros, John Congdon. And Tom right up.
Hello.
Hey, Tom. Happy you were able to join us.
Very glad. It took a couple tries, but you know.
So I don't understand for those who aren't part of the pre-show, which would be literally none of you. Tom struggles every week to get into the studio because I don't know. What
It's
are you-
Firefox, right?
Something to do with Firefox. If I retry it 10 times, sometimes it works, and if I retry it once, sometimes it works. And in this instance, it just never ended up working. I switched over to Chrome.
So can I ask a question? Last week, when you were the first one in the studio, were you on Firefox?
Yeah.
And did it work right away? Or did
Yeah.
you have to go in and out 17 times?
Well, it worked
So
right away.
he
And
doesn't-
for me,
he
it
doesn't
works.
know. Yeah, he doesn't know when it doesn't work. So
Oh,
when
really?
I logged in,
Yeah,
he
I
was
see my
already there.
video and everything.
Oh, I didn't realize
So
that.
weird.
I just know Eric always says, nope, not yet. And then,
The kids are throwing me shade. You know what?
no.
Yeah,
Kids wouldn't do that, would they?
A little bit. Wait, I'm sure all they were doing is demonstrating how you too can suggest show titles. I'm sure that's all they were doing. Good job, SoCal Kid. Light ring. I have a light ring. Friend of SoCal Kid.
It's just not on it. Oh, it is on.
It's on.
See
I
it in
can
your
turn it up.
glasses. Yep.
You want more? There you go. How's that? Is that everybody better?
A little
Not like
bit.
we haven't been doing this for 360 shows.
Ben,
Wow, I feel like-
Ben. I
Hey Ben,
saw your
I've been here.
your toots.
Mastodon.
Sorry to
They're
hear.
called posts. They're called posts, John.
No, they're called
Not
toots.
No, they're called posts.
Nope,
Not
they're
farting.
Trumpets?
Yes, I guess since Ramsey did post on a public platform, we can talk about it. But Ramsey's looking for his next adventure, looking for his next gig. So if you happen to know something, give Ramsey a ping in our Discord. Not like honestly, this is like the sort of talent you're going to want to snatch up pretty quickly because he's not going to sit around for long. I can promise you.
I did pass your information on to peeps I know, see if they're hiring. They're not. As of right now, they're not. Wish we could hire you for sure, but
I
We're not.
already gave him that line.
not in a position.
I don't really want
I
to
can give
either.
it too. I have a voice. I know you don't like when I use it.
I don't. I really don't. All right. Tom, let's start with you. How was your week?
Oh, it's been an interesting week. Going over a lot of post-mortem for last week, which is
What
not
went
gr-
wrong last week?
not
I
great.
don't think we talked about anything.
I had a deployment on Thursday and Friday that didn't go great. That's all I'll say about that.
That's awesome.
But John had asked me about getting a speed cube for my Rubik's cubing hobby I've taken up. And I felt like it was necessary to update you that, yes, I did get a speed cube. It is so incredibly helpful and much, much better than the original branded Rubik's Cube.
I know it's crazy, right?
Yeah. The only problem is it's very colorful,
Speed cube.
and I have a puppy. So this is what it looks like.
That's awesome. That's gonna be hard to figure out there, Tom.
Yeah, it's actually impossible to figure out in the state that it's in. My dog did find it and chew it up within 5 minutes of me leaving the room and coming back.
Speaking of dogs, current wife, if you happen to be around, I don't know where the dog is, outside somewhere. So if you hear them barking, just mention in our Discord. I'll go get them.
So it is an unfortunate reality of having a puppy that things that are colorful or new will result in them being eaten. So it is unfortunate, but it makes such a huge difference. I did time myself once before it got eaten, and I'm down to 2 minutes and 34 seconds.
Before you give up and throw it across the room.
No, I solve it. But I couldn't get even close to that with one of the original ones. They're so wildly different. So I've got more coming. I've got another one coming in the mail tomorrow. Hopefully I'll remember not to leave it in the living room.
How about you, John? How was your week?
Oh, where do you start? Work has been
Monday.
Let's see. No, shouldn't we start on Friday? No, just kidding. Uh, had a couple of weird issues this week with work. Actually pulled Eric into one of them today, where we have a small client that, even though we tried firing them, they still pay us for some reason. And okay, we'll keep taking your money, I guess. The person that did most of the work on the project is still around, but doesn't really work with us much. He's doing his own thing. So he's there if I need to ask questions, but he doesn't actually jump in when the client asks for something. So I have a cursory knowledge of what the application is supposed to do. As a general rule, we don't know what the client does, which is weird.
Yeah.
Language barriers, other things. We built what they wanted. They're happy for the most part. But one of the things that the application does is there's a cron that fires a job. And because it's Laravel, I had to bring Eric in because it was driving me nuts. Cron runs artisan to create a job, which goes to SQS. When that job gets run, it then creates possibly tens, hundreds, or thousands of additional jobs in SQS. And I'm like, why isn't this working all of a sudden? Like, there's usually no issues. There was an issue in the database with a status. I fixed that so the UI was correct. But everything to me said it should be working. Stop the jobs, throw some debugging in there. And I was only getting debugging messages for the first job, not all the subsequent jobs that it was supposed to create. And I'm like, Eric, what am I doing wrong? This is driving me absolutely nuts. We're sitting there. What did we spend? Like almost an hour on it trying to figure it out.
I don't think it was that long, but yeah, it took a little bit.
It took a while. What it ended up being was supervisor, which runs the jobs, stopped. Like the job failed enough times where supervisor gave up restarting. But the cron still kept going. So every minute of every day since supervisor stopped running, it created a job in SQS. So there was this backlog of the initial job, which turned out to be 50-some thousand jobs.
And now we owe $6 million, Tom.
You're muted, Tom. But yeah, so that was a fun one. That was a fun, annoying one. The other weird one was yesterday. We're still in the process of upgrading to PHP 8, and we are right there on the cusp. Like, it's live on almost every server. There's still a couple of 7.4 instances out there. But all of a sudden, we get a bug report through Honey Badger, and it's like, there's this error happening. So we go and look at it, and there's 3 of us just trying to figure out what is going wrong. The error we got was memcached constructor was not called. Trying to put data in the memcache, and we were following all of the code, made no sense. We could see the only way to create this object was through the constructor, and it just was driving me nuts. I was able to hack it enough to where it didn't happen, but it still made no sense. Again, spent a couple hours trying to figure it out, and it turns out the object that was going into memcache had memcache in it. So when we pulled it back out, it was then trying to change a value on it and then put it back into cache. And I was like, nope, that doesn't work. So caching things with state or with connections to something like memcache or your database doesn't work well. Bottom line.
Yeah, so I can imagine.
We were just caching poorly.
But this was working on the old version of MySQL, or this was just an unrelated?
Unrelated. So it was throwing. It was in a very. It was in the admin section, so it's in something that doesn't get touched very often at all. So it was just happened that we saw it as it was a warning before. Warnings didn't get reported into Honey Badger, so it was never seen. As we've cleaned things up in preparation for PHP 8, we're trying to increase the amount of data that goes into Honey Badger, showing warnings, not just hiding them. So now we're seeing those. And in addition, in PHP 8.2, it became a full-on error. So definitely saw it. It's just a weird thing. Be careful with your serialization and unserialization. That's what it comes down to.
I've had an issue in the past of serializing an object and then changing the code, and that's another bad case that can happen.
There's actually
when you unserialize an object, it just rebuilds the object from the definition in the class. And if the definition in the class is different than the object that's in storage, then it throws an error.
Right.
You get an incomplete.
Oh,
really? So we get around this, Eric, because in the event sourcing stuff that we built, we always put an __ serialized and unserialized method on those events, so that you have more control over it. So even if you change your object structure, you can still reconstruct it. And then if you were to change it, say you added a new field, you could put in a same default at that point if you don't have it. It's just a better practice. And there's actually a good talk at Longhorn on serialization that I found useful if you wanted to go check that out while you still have access.
Yeah, no, I don't care. No. So it's interesting. Ben in our Discord says that you should not serialize things that shouldn't be serialized, and I wonder what you mean by that, Ben. But
anything with a connection. So value objects perfect to serialize. Things like active records should not serialize.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. It's know what you're serializing. Don't just blind serialize things that have those connections unless you know how to rebuild those.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I just do? Did you do that?
I did not, but
Cool.
so, all right, Eric, how about your week?
I had a fantastic week. I've been coding. We talked about. I've had an interesting turn of events with my refactoring. Well, yeah, refactoring. We talked last week. I'm doing one of our clients. Depends on some OCR service for their service, and that OCR service was making some changes to their business model. We went looking for another OCR service, found another one, and I was taking the opportunity to refactor the code base because the initial code base was just like a proof of concept. So now I'm creating service providers, I'm abstracting things away. I've been having so much fun doing it. And something that was interesting that came up I don't remember how long ago, but we had a discussion about how one of our mobile developer had started base 64 encoding the images before sending it to our kind of API endpoint. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it is the API endpoint was not designed to handle base 64 encoding. Not that there was an issue with it, it just wasn't in scope. It wasn't part of the proof of concept, and nobody thought to do it. And after having some conversations with the developer, he's like, yeah, on the mobile device, it's just easier for me not to have to store a file and then go find that file and upload the file. If I can just keep it as a base 64 encoded string, it's much easier for me to manage a base 64 encoded string than a physical file. I'm like, all right, cool, bro. I'm good with that. I'll accommodate you. So I made a bunch of changes to the code base at that time to accommodate the base 64, and didn't really think much about it. And John and I had a little back and forth on, what was there a valid reason for it. Well, it turns out, as I'm refactoring the code base for this new service, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to upload the file and it keeps failing. And so I'm reading the API documentation. It's like, oh yeah, it's got to be a base 64 encoded string. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll just base 64 encode this file. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, okay. So I can just keep the whole thing base 64 encoded now. I don't need a file anymore. So it was, I'm having such a blast. I feel like I'm probably abstracting away too much now, but you can't stop me. You won't stop me. I can't be stopped. I'm a maniac. I'm real happy. I'm real happy with the way it's turning out. I'm just about done. Every time I think I'm done, I think of something else, like some new little tweak I wanted to do it. So that's where I was tonight. Like I was pretty much done. I'm like, yeah, I really want to do this other thing. So I've already started down that path. I love coding so much. The only problem I have with coding is my days just disappear. Like I have no control over time anymore. I sit down in the morning, and then next thing I know, the current wife is coming down, letting me know she's going to work, and I should probably get some sleep. But you know what would help us? I don't know, man. I'm trying to segue. Here's a
sponsor.
Thanks to our friends at honeybadger.io for sponsoring this podcast. Monitoring, like web development, can be complicated. There are tons of tools and techniques, but you just want to know that your app is up and that your customers are happy. When your customers encounter a problem, you need clear, actionable intelligence, not walls of charts and reams of logs to tail. That's why they built Honeybadger, the monitoring tool we always wanted. A tool that's there when you need it and gets out of your way when you don't, so that you can keep shipping code, know when critical errors occur, and which customers are affected. Respond instantly when your systems go down. Improve the health of your systems over time and fix problems before your customers can report them. Honeybadger is the application health monitoring tool built for you, the developer who cares about a quality product and happy customers. Be the hero of your team and sign up for a free trial and start monitoring today at honeybadger.io. Setup takes as little as 5 minutes. See what you've been missing and fix it. Once again, that's www.honeybadger.io. Thank you,
Honeybadger.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if the service we use to stream our live show, I'm going to see if they have API endpoints. And if they do, I'm going to write a script that will randomly stream our sponsor ads. So we don't even know when it's happening. It's just going to happen at some point, and it'll just cut over to it. It'll be so much easier. Looks like I had another great idea. NorCal Kid was in town, and I drove him back to the airport yesterday. And they were talking about a service they were using, and they were trying to remember if it had a feature where you could do like this flexible amount of time. So say for me, I set aside time every morning to review emails, review support tickets, and review comments on our YouTube channels. So each block, I just block off a half hour because that's the easiest thing to block off. But those times, those half-hour blocks are actually very flexible. Like I can move them around. They're not really written in stone. It's not like it's a meeting. And so the NorCal Kid was saying, I think this service I'm using, and if they were using a service called Motion. If anybody uses Motion, let me know if this is something that you can do. But they thought that they could do these flexible blocks in Motion, which I guess is just like a calendar service, expensive as hell. And if somebody wants to schedule a meeting with you, like you can basically tell Motion, hey, people can still schedule meetings with me during this time. If they do, move this block around to another time of the day. I'm like, man, it would be awesome. I'm a Todoist person. I'm a Todoist maniac. I've been doing Todoist for years. I'm the highest tier of Zen, whatever the hell it is. I would love to tie to do this into Calendly, whatever it is, the one where you can send it out and people can schedule meetings with you and they can see your availability. I would love to tie to do this into that, where it kind of does the same thing. It looks for free blocks on my calendar and says, okay, well, there's this free block here. I'll schedule you to do it here, but not actually schedule it. Not make it a or schedule it as free time on my calendar, so that people can still schedule meetings, but that it's still on my calendar where I can see it. I love that idea. If anybody knows of any service that does that, I would love to take a look at it.
It sounds like Motion is that.
Yeah.
Motion is so expensive. It's absurd.
Are we looking at the same thing? I mean, yeah, it's a little crazy. $12 per user per month on a team plan. So
right. Or $8.
$144 a year.
Right, for a calendar.
Yeah. Well, I haven't looked at all the features or anything.
Yeah. I mean, it does have project management, which you know how much I love my project management stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll get you into it one day.
Calendar, yes. A-Woods in Discord. That's the service I'm talking about. I would like Todoist to tie into that, so that it's able to kind of figure out where I have free time to do things like my email reviews. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but like you said, I'm paying for enough services. I need to dial back on a few of those.
I've been on that kick lately at home, just trying to go through everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually using a different internet service right now. I'm actually using the same one we used for tech this year, the T-Mobile home internet, the little 5G modem thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping this is working just fine. Switching to that for now, doing their 2-week free trial here.
Did you want to return it? Just do that every month.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work well. No, if it works well over the next week or so, I'll switch over. It's half the price of what I'm paying now for the cable. I'm just trying to find those pennies here and there to stop paying out. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Piracy.
Yeah, I've been back on services as well. That's the thing is these streaming services. I was talking to the current wave. It used to be when everything just started up, you could do multiple streaming services and it was cheaper than cable. But now it's like every streaming service wants to charge you, $50 or $10 or $20 a month. Everybody's raising their prices to as much as you're willing to pay for an entire cable bill. They're like, oh, yeah.
And that's the ad tier too.
Yeah. So yeah, it's getting a little crazy, and I watch so little of it. Well, that's not true. I watch a lot of I'm on heavy rotation of Big Bang Theory. Don't ask me why. It's like a it's like a compulsion now.
Because it's always on.
Yeah, it literally there's 12 seasons, and it just basically runs on a continuous loop in our house almost. Just because it's just like one of those zone out things.
Buttery brings up the Pomodoro method when we're talking about time, how you spend your time during a day, and that's not just answering emails and stuff. It's a great technique. I wish I were better at doing that. It's work. Set a timer for 25 minutes or so, and you work you try and focus as hard as you can, close everything else, work for 25, and then actually get up, walk away, take a break for 5.
Nope. I've given up on things like that. I do think those work for people, especially people who like developers, right? If you're a paid developer, like the people we pay to be developers on our team, yeah, that probably works great for them. I think I would encourage them to do that.
Could you imagine Eric's reaction if every 25 minutes the whole developer team just got up and left the room? it would
I mean, they pretty much do anyways. It's
not
like,
be
I'd
happy
just
with
be
that.
happy if they'd come back. But for me personally, and I imagine John would probably be in the same boat, but there's too many holes in the fire, and it's just too many things going on.
My problem is that focus, like trying to focus on something without bouncing around, and I'll start something and then get pulled away by somebody else to look at something and then forget where I was at, and then I start another thing, and like it's just nonstop. And then that's just the coding part, and then you got all the other aspects of our day-to-day, trying to make sure that emails are answered, which I haven't looked at in a couple of days. I should probably go look at that. Making sure products get shipped, making sure accounting work is done, make sure magazines being edited. There's just so many things.
Support tickets are being answered.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. The email, the support tickets.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything. And we definitely get at least I feel like I get the other side of that too. Like yesterday, I spent a good 3 or 4 hours taking NorCal Kid to the airport, and we get down there early. We go get breakfast, and I didn't have to like worry about like asking permission or getting my stuff covered. It's just like, but it's just like you take the good with the bad, right? There's how many nights have you and I stayed up, John, until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning getting the magazine out or working on the conference, or it just goes both ways. I think that's the one thing I've gotten better at. I used to feel real guilty when I took time for myself to do stuff. And when I say do stuff, I'm not like talking going to Disneyland. I'm talking about taking my kid to the airport or something. I used to feel very self-conscious about it, but I don't really anymore. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I realize how many hours I put into the company just on a regular basis. And it's like, I can't, I'm not going to feel guilty the time I do take away.
And you shouldn't. I mean, I know how much you're putting in getting done. It's like, take that time, go do what you need to do.
Right.
For sure.
All right.
I'm gonna.
I feel no such guilt. Just putting that out there.
I talked about the fact that I'm really close to being fully on PHP 8 with the big project I work on. And this month, or actually starting last week or so, there was this big push. So over the past year, there's been one person dedicated to really diving in to make sure we were PHP 8 ready, using tools like PHP Stan and Rector, making sure things were being caught. And it took a long time, but finally got confidence enough to, put it in production. And the ops team did a great job of working with Canary releases, which I thought was, it's an obvious way to do it if you can.
Does a Canary release imply what I think it implies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you're talking about the Canary from the cold days, right?
Yeah, like that's when you knew things were going bad. Is when the Canary died. It's like everybody knew to get out of the mine.
Exactly.
Yeah, how do
you apply that with code?
So it's we have a cluster of servers. So one of the environments, there's like 15 web servers running at any given time, is putting a single PHP 8.2 instance in play where most of them are 7.4 still. And you put that 8.2 in there, so it gets a little bit of the traffic. And that's when we turned on warnings and, really dialed into Honey Badger, checking for any errors, and then jumping on them and fixing them as quick as you can. And then slowly ramping that up, adding a second server, a third server, and then dialing back to 7.4. So it's been a fun technique to get out there. But Andy Snell gave a great talk at Longhorn because he is the one doing all this work, trying to make sure the code was both 7.4 and 8.2 compatible at the same time. And that was one of the huge first steps.
Yeah, you can also set a local environment variable like a cookie or something like that allows you to switch into Canary mode. So when your stuff is in production, you only hit the Canary environment.
Well, I mean that's in your ops, right? In your routing piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are setups where a cookie will trigger loading only the Canary if there is a Canary.
Right.
So
we did it where it's just random. Yeah.
Is there a distinction between this and A/B testing? Because it sounds like A/B testing to me.
To a point, A/B testing is more you're focusing on a person goes only to A and you want to see how they do, or a person only goes to B. With the Canary release, there's like Tom was saying, there's different ways of doing it. We did it where any random request ended up on a random server. So it just hit the load balancer and it was distributed like any other request. Just a percentage of them hit the PHP 8.2 instance. The other way is segmenting your users and saying, okay, Eric, you're now going to be hitting our PHP 8 code, and I want to see how it reacts for you. So you can, you could segment your lower tiered users, people that don't, you're not so worried about having the best uptime, right? Like if they hit the bugs, you'd rather it be them than your high paying users. Until you figure out, find all the bugs, make sure it's all working as expected.
Yeah, and canaries don't usually last very long either. It's just part of the deploy pipeline.
Right.
So
and we've stepped on the gas. So he had it scheduled out through all of November. So it's going to be put one into this environment, one into this environment. And then once we start seeing, oh, Honey Badger's not pinging us, we're or we've solved all those things, it gave us the confidence to increase, and now it's like, I think we're fully 8.2 except for our crons, and we have a 7.4 and an 8.2 cron, and it's just a matter of slowly moving over those scripts because those are some of the oldest code going back a decade, and you don't want to screw up billing, right? You want to make sure that runs.
Right.
So I'm excited to actually be able to deploy 8.2 code here soon.
That's kind of cool.
Just in time for 8.3.
Learning new things like that.
Yeah.
Got the 8.3 release manager in Discord, so he never does anything on time. We know that. You got time. Don't worry. Oh.
So mean.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to be better at that.
Eric, Eric Mann, excuse me, 8.3 release manager. I think we're now in a good state to start upgrading faster. We're still, a lot of our code is still, came with us through PHP 4, up through 5, up through 7. So it was
that's crazy.
Getting over some of those hurdles to get it to 8. And now
I would love
8.2 to 8.3 would be easy.
I'd love to see an audit on both your client code base and my client code base, and see what lines of code have not been changed since PHP 4? Right? Because I know we both have probably lines of code in our respective code bases that have been around since PHP 4 day.
The problem is the stuff that makes it PHP 4 has probably changed. And my specific code base didn't get into Git until 2012. It was SVN before, and all the dates say 2012. So I can't go back and say, okay, show me the oldest lines.
Interesting. Yeah, that is.
But it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but yeah. Oh boy, Tom, you're being quiet.
No, I just you guys are complaining about code bases and. Boy.
Oh, that's right. You're not a developer anymore.
No, I'm project manager. No, I am a developer. I'm a technical lead, technically.
You're technically a technical lead.
Yes.
So, John.
Yes.
I have things that you'd like to discuss.
Please do.
We are quickly approaching here in the U.S. the holiday known as the Giving of Thanks, and that is next week.
Yeah, no episode next week, I bet.
I bet you are right. I will be in no shape to record.
Okay, fine.
I mean, you guys can go for it.
A belly full of tofurkey.
No episode. That's fine. Okay, so I guess first thing, we will be taking next week off. Everybody, we just took Longhorn off. I'm feeling bad about taking time off again, Tom.
You should.
Jeez.
I don't.
Anyways, the week after that, and it happens to fall on a Thursday, is the 30th of November, which is the end of Call for Papers for Tech 2024.
Yes, you should get your submissions in. I haven't looked to see how many we're at.
I was hoping you had done that, and yeah, I should look at that as well.
Well, I don't. We're doing all right.
We are actually doing very good.
Very decent amount, but we want your submissions. Looking for keynotes. Hi, Sarah.
Yes. Yeah, keynotes would be key.
What do you mean?
And sponsors as well. Always looking for sponsors. If anybody has any leads on sponsors, we would. I'm starting to stress out a little bit about the sponsorship stuff. That is one thing we did walk away from Longhorn with some good contacts. Be nice to get something going there, but yeah, I'm getting stressed about sponsors again. I think I was in the same boat last year as well.
Yep. Now I want to know from Sarah why she thinks tofurkey is a crime. I actually made my holiday roast last night for the family, and my kids loved it. So we'll actually have
tell you that don't like it.
Have you met my kids? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I heard some of the comments on the vegan sushi weren't spectacular.
Huh?
You did the vegan sushi
last week.
Really
more spectacular.
I thought you had said one of the kids didn't like it.
What the hell is vegan sushi?
My 7-year-old didn't like it. My 7-year-old didn't like it.
Yeah.
Not bad on the submissions, people. Good numbers here. I'd like to see
sushi. It was good.
I'd like to see a few more unique speakers. If a few more people want to submit another 13 unique speakers, I'll be real happy. We'll be in triple digits there. That'd be real good.
Sarah, yes, to answer your question.
What do you got against Jesus, John? You're such a racist. I swear to God. What are we talking about? I'm trying to talk about tech, but everybody else seems to be wanting to talk about other stupid things.
It wants to know what we'd like to see in a keynote. I think it's pretty simple. motivational talk.
Make
trying
people
to get
cry, A Woods. I want to see you make people cry.
I don't want
Make-
another crying
I
keynote.
I want people to feel something. I want them to be happy that they're there, excited about what they're learning, excited about what they're going to do with what they've learned. High energy is always good. All right. Thanks, Sarah, for submitting.
Kevin, I will need to look who that person is. Don't mean to sound ignorant, but I do not know the name. Hillel Wayne? Is that Bruce Wayne's
Alter
brother?
ego.
That would be Batman.
True.
I thought we were under the belief that Batman was just a different person, that it was like a completely separate personality, not just an alter ego.
What?
See, I don't. I'm moving on from Batman.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Kevin, I appreciate that suggestion. It looks like this person is a professional keynoter, and while I would love to be able to pay a professional, it's a community conference. It's usually somebody from the community that gets up and gives that type of a talk.
And we can't afford professionals.
That's
why this podcast is non-professional.
Harry Mack
listen
says
to
it right
the
up front.
Jesus. Although, if the Parmesan is free, I'd buy him a dinner. I'd buy the Parmesan a dinner.
I don't know if that would be the kind of talk you would aim for at Tech.
Don't tell me what I'm aiming for.
It would just be like, yes, PHP is great, but here's all the things that are wrong with it and better options.
No, he loves PHP now. Have you not been watching?
I saw.
He loves PHP now. I mean, we might as well just bring him into the herd. Just totally embrace him. So I'm going this weekend, by the way, if anybody was interested. I see nobody bothered to ask, but yeah. This weekend I'm getting my hearing aids. I'm a little self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna put it out there and just kind of get it out of the way. Yeah, I'm getting hearing aids this weekend.
How's that going to work with earbuds?
Oh, they don't.
They actually. So this is the weird thing about it. I don't know enough about it, so I could be speaking completely off on some of this stuff. So first thing, it has Bluetooth, right? So it actually works as earbuds, and the ones I'm getting, the Bluetooth doesn't cancel out the hearing aid aspect of it. So I'm hearing my music when people talk to me. I can still hear them if I choose to. But the really cool thing about it, and I noticed this on the Mac today, as a matter of fact, I forget what it was called. I'd have to go look for it again. It was under accessibilities. But the person who was explaining to me the earbuds, they're like, do you go to like concerts, or do you go see musicals, or anything like that? Do you ever go to like auditoriums? And I thought they were going to explain to me that, hey, you can have it like listen like different modes, which it can do. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I go to quite a few conferences and this and that, and I go to movies. And he's like, okay, so these have a feature where I guess there's this standard now that they can tie directly into the sound system of the auditorium. And the Mac I saw something like that on the Mac today. I'll look for it as I'm talking, where it said, hey, do you have a hearing aid? Well, you can enable this, and the Mac will just connect. It's not Bluetooth. It was called something else. Accessibility here. Under accessibilities, hearing devices. There's a hearing device. It says Pair MFI hearing aid. MFI. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it just like, I guess it's like a, I don't know, near field communication, or it are paired in Bluetooth settings. Other hearing aids are paired in Bluetooth settings. So this is different than Bluetooth. Bring devices within range of the Mac to complete pairing. So I'm hoping this is that.
Well, that begs the question: is there something we can do at Tech for that? So I guess we have something to learn now since you'll have that.
That would be probably. I wonder if Tim would know that. Tim seems to be the audio video guy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering. Yeah.
I got my hearing disablers this week. I got
What's that mean?
a pair of these loop earplugs.
NorCal Kid uses NorCal Kid and NorCal Kid's partner uses loop earplugs. They kept raving about them.
Yeah.
For what? I mean, why are they so good, and what are we using them for?
They're used to function normally in loud environments like bars and concerts and stuff. It's a neurodivergent or neuro non-typical thing. So people who are sensitive to loud noises really like these things.
Kevin asked if we're planning to have a virtual option for PHP Tech. We did this year. There's no reason we won't next year. We paid for the equipment. So we would prefer to have you in person. But yes, there will be a virtual option as well. We should probably enable that at some point.
Yeah. Oh, I keep meaning to remove the tickets for the virtual for 2023. You got to do that. I'll do that this weekend.
Butter, yeah, we bought the equipment from the previous owner, so we got kind of everything around the conference kind of in a single bundle. If you must know the details, I will give you a spreadsheet of all the... Not just kidding.
All right, so we have more bills to pay. Come on, we have bills to pay.
Go.
It's already...
Go.
Is it
Do
really
it.
already 10 o'clock? What?
Yes, do it. Thanks to JetBrains and PhpStorm for partnering with us. PhpStorm is a cutting-edge IDE tailored for PHP and web developers. Whether you're a newcomer or it's just been a hot minute since your last dive in, there's never been a better time to revisit. With a slick, clean new UI, blazing speed enhancements, and a richer toolkit, it's transforming the way we code. It's time to start coding like a professional. Visit jetbrains.com/PhpStorm and kick off your 30-day free trial. Code smarter, not harder. Thank you.
Thank you, PhpStorm.
Thank you, PhpStorm. How long did you have that message in our private chat, John?
Not long. It was only a couple of minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it was right at 50 minutes in Restream. I was like, oh, we got to do that.
So, John, we have a private chat which we almost never use. I'm surprised John didn't tell me to run it in Discord, but he knows I don't watch Discord. And John has to say, hey, basically message like, hey, are we running JetBrains? I don't know. Are we doing this? What's up?
Yeah. Yeah, Buttery's asking about the renting all that equipment. And seriously, renting equipment for an event, I'm sure if you're a big event company, it might work out. You probably know where to squeeze the AV company at a hotel or whatever. But what they charge for a single day is like the cost of a brand new item. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's completely insane. And the Wi-Fi too.
Yeah, the problem with owning it is you got to store it and transport it. But outside of that, it's like we've got 3 tracks, 3 days. The cost of all of that equipment for rental fees is crazy.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it. Like, if we had the money, I would love to pay somebody to do it. But I also kind of enjoyed last year, working, especially Tim and I'm sorry, what was the other person's name? Not Scott,
Jack.
Not Steve, not
Jack.
Jimmy, Jerry, Jack. Yeah, Tim and Scott Scott. Wait, Jack? Wait,
Jack.
Tim and Jack were great, and I had I learned so much and had such a good time setting things up. But it was also frustrating because we already had enough things to worry about. Like I didn't want to have to worry about that. But like once we got it set up and got everything running, it was like, oh, that was fun. That was cool.
We have a fight going on in Discord right now. Tabs versus
What's up?
spaces. Oh wait, no. Dark mode versus light mode.
Dark
Yeah.
mode.
Light mode is awful. I
Come
don't
to the dark
understand
side.
how somebody could possibly want to do that to themselves.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies. Yeah, everything's dark for me. It's one of the first things I do for all my things. I know there are people of the other camp who have their reasons, and they're just wrong, and it's just those have to go through life knowing they're wrong. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Brent from the PhpStorm, Stitcher.io, actually did a whole video series on, I don't know if it's a series or a single video, on why light mode is better. And I went back to light mode for, I think, a day, and I was like, no, can't do it.
Yeah,
I tried.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried listening to people and taking things, and it just didn't work.
I mean, it used to be when you did presentations, it made sense to go to light mode, but like dark mode has gotten so good that that's not even a requirement anymore. Dark mode,
it depends.
fonts.
If you have you need to make sure you have the right font size, the right font color to present.
Mhm.
That's the hard part.
Matter of fact, I've become a JetBrains font user as well for all my terminals and everything. I use the JetBrains font, just nice.
I didn't know.
nice
I
and
didn't know
clean.
they had a JetBrains font.
Oh yeah.
JetBrains has a JetBrains font. Yeah, they understand developers, man. That's all there is to it. All right, you guys keep talking. I'm going to pull up our supporters on Patreon. Let them know how much we appreciate them, and thank you very much for supporting us month after month. For really, I really don't know what's wrong with y'all, but we do appreciate it.
Yeah, Eric, you need to talk to you need to talk to your kid. Calling Sarah disgusting. That's just wrong.
Which one? What? Yeah, they can fight it out. I need to get my kids to a tech just so everybody can meet them. NorCal, SoCal, making them wear those as name badges. Somebody had brought up something that you and I have actually talked about in the past, John. And I don't mean to call you out on this. I didn't prepare you for this, but the idea of having Patreon levels or Patreon, maybe a different Patreon account for PHP Architect that would include things like, a subscription to the magazine, maybe, some stickers or something. I don't know. As opposed to, for whatever reason, them buying the magazine directly from the site. But what they said is basically the same kind of model that we had for Ugly, where it's like, just like $1 or so just for principle. I mean, like, how do you feel about that? I feel weird enough that we're doing it for PHP Ugly, but how do you feel about that?
I don't think you do it for a commercial entity like PHP Architect. You do it for content. I think it's a content creator, which is how we started this many years ago, right? Yes, we have a company, but it's more about the show, PHP Ugly, and our community here, not for, I don't think, for PHP Architect.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
I mean, that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You definitely don't have the final say. Matter of fact, I don't even know if you have any say sometimes.
It's so true.
Just like to let you think you're in charge every now and then. Plausible deniability for when the lawyers come for us.
Speaking of lawyers,
What?
it's been a bad
very
week
quiet
for.
this whole show.
I haven't had a whole lot to bring out.
You've got a whole
long-
Trello list
I
that
know.
I've been excited about on some of these things, but
It's been a bad bad week for crypto bros. Sam Bankman-Fried
Right.
has gone found guilty of all counts in his trial, and will probably never see natural light again.
No.
Sentencing is
You think it's going to be that big of a thing for him?
stealing $1 billion is pretty bad.
I bet you. I mean, it's white collar, man. They don't do any real time.
I don't know. I mean, like each count is a pretty serious one, and I think it's 7 counts.
So for the layperson that doesn't know crypto, not me. I mean, I know all this stuff. I get it. But
Sure.
Who is Sam Bankman-Fried?
So he was the FTX guy.
For the lay people, what is FTX?
FTX was a crypto exchange that was also a sort of a loaning operation.
Well, if you watch like sports or anything, like they had like a ton of big names.
Yeah, like Matt Damon
FTX.
is getting sued over FTX.
Yep.
Yep. The Larry David did a commercial for him. You know, a lot of big stuff. They were big in the Super Bowl last year. But it turns out that they had a sister company called Alameda Holdings, which all of the money that was deposited into FTX could be accessed by Alameda Holdings and was just being spent. And sort of the big problem was that they had fundamentally lied about how much money they had, how secure it was, and where it was being spent. So they also had this slush fund, this like backup fund that had X amount of money in it to cover everyone's transactions, so that nothing could happen that people would just lose money. But it turns out that the display for that fund, how much was currently in that fund, was just total number of deposits or total deposit amount times random number. Like, it was completely just a fake number, and that such an account never had any money in it, and all of it was being spent by Sam Bankman-Fried and his girlfriend.
Well, what was hysterical about Bankman was that, like, basically his defense was, I really don't understand any of this stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's like, wait, what? It was crazy.
Sorry, I just shared the YouTube link to what I'm assuming is the Legal Eagle coverage you were talking about. Is that it? I'm gonna watch that later.
Yeah, Legal Eagle gives a great coverage of this. I mean, everything Legal Eagle does is really great.
Yeah, he's
today I learned about Legal Eagle. Thanks for sharing that before.
Have you not
all
seen
of my
this guy
subscribed
before?
channels?
I have
it's
not.
Amazing. Also, look up Carl Jobst. He's great. Video game
Legal
stuff.
Eagle is pretty awesome. Yeah, you can definitely go back and watch a bunch of his stuff. For sure.
Carl Jobs? Is that what you said?
Jobst. Jobst. There was also an arrest of executives behind SafeMoon. SafeMoon is another security, crypto thing, and they basically took deposits that they told investors were safe and locked up, and took out $200 million to buy stuff for themselves. And it turns out that like virtual currency in a virtual bank is virtually secure.
Wait, what's that called? SafeMoon?
SafeMoon. And then get ready for charges on WeWork, one that I'm sure people are familiar with.
I never understood what WeWork was.
WeWork was co-working.
Yeah, it's a co-working space. So if you're a remote worker and need to get out of the house, you could just go to a WeWork office. And I previously worked at an employer who had a WeWork subscription. So if I needed to get out of the house, I could just go to one of their buildings. They had a $47 billion value at one point. And just before filing bankruptcy this week, they were valued at $45 million.
Wow.
Oh.
And it turns out that the
That
CEO,
hurts.
That's a couple zeros.
yeah,
There's a movie on this, right? What's
There
the
is.
movie called? It's called WeWork, right, or something?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Netflix documentary, WeWork, or The Making and Breaking of a $47 billion Unicorn. And it turns out that the CEO, Adam Newman, was doing things like selling his own buildings, like selling rent to buildings he owned to his own company, and other very, very shady practices that basically netted him a huge amount of money but ate the company alive. So, yeah, it was one of those things that people thought was a brilliant idea and an example of Silicon Valley really nailing a new concept, and it tragically crashed and burned.
Well, yeah. I mean, the people running it were kind of kooky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the husband-wife team, they were a little nutty. So the concept itself wasn't a terrible concept. They thought of themselves as artists, and like they were like this, tier above other people, and basically they started using it as their own personal piggy bank as well. And yeah, I wouldn't knock like the concept of co-working facilities in general. The WeWork, it was just done very poorly by some very bad people.
Yeah. And then it was another bad week for a non-tech company, but an interesting one that I know a lot of tech people were looking at. Is the
Woods, another good title. God
the
damn,
Las
I
Vegas
had the title.
The Las Vegas Sphere. Are you guys familiar with that at all?
Oh, I want to see this so bad.
So do I. It looks really interesting. I want to see it.
Except it's not a sphere.
Yeah, it's not a complete sphere.
Jesus Christ!
But it lost about $100 million in its first quarter.
Yeah, no kidding. It cost billions of dollars to build. Like how the hell?
I don't understand how they didn't expect that. So the CTO immediately quit. Like the CTO immediately quit. It's only been 4 months since this thing was finished.
Yeah.
It's a technological marvel for sure.
Right.
But like they can't figure out how to make money with it now. It seats 18,000 people inside as a music venue.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not making money off of it. It's unbelievable that such a thing could possibly occur within 4 months of launching your gigantic Las Vegas eye. It's just a giant eyeball sometimes. It's very bizarre looking, and I definitely want to see it, but I mean, I guess just like looking at it from the outside is enough for like one trip to Vegas. You don't bother going to see music.
We need to see if they have a Black Friday sale. Maybe we can put the PHP Architect logo on it. Just like a big elephant walking across into an A. Ding! Like the intro we do to our videos. Just have that pop up. I'm sure we'll get a good ROI on that.
Oh, definitely. And finally, back to some tech stuff. There's going to be a lawsuit, I'm sure, because 23andMe is now selling its DNA records to drug companies.
That's awesome.
That's super cool.
Oh, great.
GlaxoSmithKline will pay 23andMe $20 million for access to the genetic testing company's vast trove of consumer data, extending a 5-year collaboration that's allowed the drug maker to mine genetic data as it researches new medications.
I think I can one-up you on the doom and gloom there, Tom. That was a good one. That was a good doom and gloom.
Yes, I mean, that's a solid one since we haven't had one in a while.
I guess it became like apparent or like common knowledge now that Amazon has been giving law enforcement free reign at their
Oh, yeah,
video
yeah.
devices. So like Ring cameras and things like that. They not only law enforcement, which as a U.S. citizen, you're already kind of like, oh, what are you doing? Like giving a law enforcement access to my
Yeah.
Ring camera?
Aren't those the bad guys?
But also anybody else who worked at Amazon, either as an employee or a contractor. Like there was like no security.
I read
around
about this. Yeah, they were sharing around clips of hot women in their bedrooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like it's such a violation of trust. And
See, I get
Oh my
mocked for
gosh.
building my own security camera data center in my office.
no, let's be clear. You get
But then-
mocked because you're a goofy guy.
Okay, I get mocked for that. But one of my goofiness things has resulted in a secure personal storage.
Ish.
Secure, better than Ring. Yeah, my camera's piped straight to my server, back everything up. It's great.
I'm not dancing around in my underwear at my front door.
I am.
Oh, this is not your
John.
front.
I am.
Yeah. First off, Google did this to Eric once already. If you look up Eric's place on Google Maps, you'll see him in his bathrobe.
No, but we
this-
have a ring cam inside our house.
Yeah, this
is
is
what
not
we-
restricted to the doorbells.
Right. We have one that is focused on our back door for when the dog wants to come in, and we can see that the dog is at the back door. But I'm a free-spirited guy, John. I have no kids anymore. I'm just walking around. I'm doing my yoga. Hey, don't judge.
I wasn't judging.
Nude yoga. Yeah, I'm not happy about this at all. I'm about to just go live in the woods again. And this time not running from law enforcement. I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go do it.
This time for fun.
Yeah. All right.
All right, sounds like we are winding down.
And well, so
We're
as
talking about nude
as
yoga,
Creasy-
so I think, we're done.
as Creasy
Yeah.
says here in the
I'm
chat,
pushing through it. Yeah. Go ahead.
this was something that I've heard a lot, is if you're not paying
Creasy?
for the product, Creasy
Creasy,
in
you're saying?
Discord chat,
Okay, you said
discord.phpstorm.com.
crazy. Sure.
If you're not paying for the product, or if the product is super cheap, you are the product. And that's not even the case anymore. 23andMe is a full-priced service that's selling your data. Ring is a full-priced cloud camera system that you're paying for. You
Not
are no
cheap.
longer safe by buying the expensive thing or using the paid service. They're still going to sell your data.
Yep.
And there's nothing in the law right now that can stop them.
Yep.
I have one last
That's
thing.
true.
If I don't get to it, it's
ahead.
going to kill me.
My earbuds are almost dead, so I'm gonna have to switch off if we don't end soon.
Today, a very important announcement by Apple. They are opening up their chat platform to a global compatibility so that their iChat functionality,
iMessenger? They're
their
opening up
iMessenger,
iMessenger?
they're opening it up. They're going to start using, I believe it's called RCS.
No way. Really?
Right. That's what everybody else freaking uses. But
Everyone
now
else
Apple's
uses
using
it.
it. It's going to be like the greatest thing. I can't tell you how irritated I get when I go to the store and they're like, oh, Apple Pay? I'm like, no, tap to pay. It's tap to pay. It's not Apple Pay.
Yeah. So Apple has announced that next year they are bringing RCS support to the iPhone.
Oh, next year?
I'm super excited about that.
Okay, I need a Trello ad for that. I don't see a Trello ad.
A Trello card.
Yes.
Right here. It's right. Hold on. It's
All right,
right
I got it.
here.
Nine to 5 Max. Is that what you're posting? Because that's what I got.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good job. Boom, boom, boom. That's awesome. I mean, it's only about freaking time, Apple. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Apple's really turned some heads lately with some of their decisions.
I hate the fact. Oh, there goes my headphones. I just said that. I hate the fact that Apple can just drag their feet and cripple technology, and people just freaking embrace the hell out of them. And then they decide to do it, like NFC, for example. Like, oh, okay, we're going to do an NFC, so now you can use Apple Pay. And now everybody calls it Apple Pay. And they still crippled it. Oh, my God. It irritates me.
It is extremely irritating. But fortunately for all the people who are on iPhones, my Flipper Zero can just crash them and hard lock
really?
them. So
No.
if they start bothering me, absolutely iPhone 17. If you have an iPhone that has iPhone 17, I can just turn your phone off, and you have to do a hard reset to unlock it.
I would have to see that in action. I read that, but
Yeah. No, I've done it to my friend. She was very upset.
Yeah, it's not something you do just for fun. That'd be.
You do.
It's 100% something I do just for fun.
It's exactly what fun is. That's what
Yeah.
fun means. All right, is that it? Are we done? We got more stuff we want to talk about?
That's it. I'll leave it at that.
I can go.
You go. You've got endless wireless headphones.
Yeah. I got. I will say I was
I've
using
got
my
this one and this one.
I was using my Google Pixels, which just I like them because I look better without the earmuffs on. But man, the Bose sounds so good. Like just now, just switching it over, I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so much better. All right. I was going to say something. Anybody interested? We talked about it a little bit in the past, but John and I are finalized a contract with a client that in the contract, we explicitly say that we will live stream the development of their stuff. So start looking for some live stream, probably over on the PHP Architect Bluetooth? Nope. The PHP Architect YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed there, go over there and subscribe and, get notified for when we go do live coding. And if you're not subscribed to the PHP Ugly YouTube channel, you should probably do that as well. Also, John and I are getting very, very frustrated with our website, and we'll probably start live coding that at some point. So, all very exciting things to happen in 2024. But for now,
and you can judge us. We're okay with being judged.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with all of that, dude. Oh my gosh, with my rewrite of this OCR stuff, I use DTOs, I use value objects, I'm using repositories. I'm doing it all, man. I use custom service providers. It's so abstracted away, and I can plug different things in now. I'm so excited about this.
Well, in 5 years, that won't be the standard anymore. We're going to go back to functional coding, and
yeah, that's true.
Totally different again.
Have you ever seen people use those what's it called? You have a crisis?
We broke him.
No, what's it called? Existential languages. Have you seen those existential languages?
No.
Oh, we should talk about that next week. I mean, they're not like they're real languages. They do things, but they're not really meant for programming. They're meant more for like the understanding, like a mind challenge of how you would do something. Well, I'll try to find some good videos on that. And I was looking. I've been following people who do this. They're like challenges almost, but I've been following people who do these for a while. And I saw a couple of good ones last couple of weeks, so I'll try to hunt those back down, and we'll talk about them next week maybe. But I'll totally forget too. But for now, if you're watching the live stream, feel free to hang out with us for PHP Ugly After Dark, and get your title suggestions in. I think myself and A Woods are probably in the running for the title so far. But for now,
Sarah had a good one.
If you're listening to audio podcasts, this is going to be in the line for you. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it
ugly.
I'm clicking it.
Perfectly timed.
I was
1, 2, 1,
don't
2.
know what's going on.
Coming off the top, y'all know how we
go.
do. Listen, I'ma
Eric's
drop a
forgetting where to go to get
freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
All right.
Right.
Thanks everyone for all the good feedback in Discord. That was great.
17 live viewers. Pretty crazy.
Wow, 22. What? 22?
22. Why did it go up when we went off?
when the stream ended, more people jumped on.
Do you guys
Harry
host
Mack,
something
man.
else on the stream?
They hear Harry Mack go. All right, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. You're more than welcome to chill with us. We just kind of chatter at this point. This is no longer the show. That's what we should do. We should have a overlay, like no longer the show.
Overlay. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to so my Pop OS machine continues to decline. Bluetooth doesn't work on it anymore.
What?
Jesus.
I have not I need to rebuild it. Like I've known this, right? Because I have this other issue where it just kind of like freezes like once a week. It'll just freeze. I just can't. I love my setup right now, man. This like my just going back and forth between the two desktops is so wonderful. I love this. It's my favorite. This is the life I've always wanted to live right here.
Sarah, that's the wrong language. Isn't that Java?
Sarah doesn't even program PHP.
I do agree. Over abstraction is a pain. It's a pain when you're trying to track things down, but
European.
the right level of abstraction is nice.
I love my code base right now. I can't stop. I can't stop coding in it. It's like such a simple service, and I just can't stop. I can't stop playing with it. It's my favorite thing. I love coding. I'm so happy I get paid to do this for a living.
Happy I dragged you out of what you were doing. Come be a coder.
There was a Reddit thread about people who were former programmers turned management, and they were saying, "Well, what do you do day to day?" And one guy described it, and every response to it was, "Yeah, that sounds awful." Like, it's not awful. It's fine.
Developers are where the real value is. I got news for you. Every thing I look at, the company wouldn't be anything without the developers.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I didn't even talk about scale this week. Damn.
Yeah, you're going to that, right?
I'm helping organize it. So
You
yeah,
don't, yeah, because you don't have enough things on your plate.
Yeah. I felt bad because I'm honestly not doing anything with them, and like they have me on the mailing list, and like something will come across the mailing list. I'm like I feel like I have an opinion on this, but I don't want to like overstep, man. I need to get the world of PHP back with some open source love. So how would you define Canary? Is it like a what workflow or like
It's
a deployment process.
Yeah, deployment strategy.
Deployment strategy. Okay, that's good. Strategy. What else do we talk about? I like to have the tech stuff in the show note headers. WeWork, WeCrashed is the Apple movie that was made on WeWork.
Okay. Yeah, there have been a couple of them. It's the guy who was running it just fleeced the company and ran.
Yeah, like I said, it was more about that was the real issue.
Kevin, where are you located? Since you were asking about virtual attendance, is there something that would keep you from being able to attend?
Thanks to everybody in Discord, man. It was I love having to Dallas. Wow, we were just in your neighborhood, Kevin.
Yeah, just there last 2 weeks ago now.
Oh, NorCal kid. I'm gonna be in the financial district on the 4th through the 8th.
Yeah, I think they'll be back by then because they're actually coming back down here next week for Thanksgiving.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, they'll be down here and then heading back up. They said they'd be happy to meet up with you if you're serious.
Yeah. Do something some night.
Since you'll make time for them, but you want to make time for us. I see how it is.
Oh, really?
It had nothing to do with that.
Feels like it was.
I was so busy. That was is all my wife's planning. Yeah, I'm so bummed about the Rubik's Cube, but it was a puppy.
How much did a speed cube cost you?
Oh, it's like less than the original one. It's like $10.
Yeah,
oh, really?
it's.
But I had it.
It's so much nicer.
I had it for like under 12 hours.
Yeah,
I had it for maybe 6 hours.
But I mean, you can get more expensive ones. I mean, you get ones with magnets in them.
No, this one's magnet, speed cube, adjustable. It's everything. It's the one that like the #1 record holder used. But it's just funny. My son thought I was going to be furiously upset. And I was like, no, man, it's a puppy, and it was a bright plastic toy that I set on a counter. Like, I set on a table that I shouldn't have. Like, that's what dogs do. And it's only $10. It's not worth being mad about. And then I sat him...
There's a lot of potato suggestions here.
I sat him down and explained how it was like when he was a kid. He would do something dumb. He'd be 6 or 7. He'd do something dumb and break something. And it's not something you can get mad about. It's something that you have to teach and reflect on. But it's just stuff. Stuff doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Kevin.
So I bought 3 more.
Kevin asking, are we nervous about streaming the client work? In what regards? I'm nervous. I mean, I did some live coding a few weeks ago. Just nervous about looking dumb or not being as efficient.
That
as
imposter
I could be.
syndrome really kicks in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when I posted an article once and I had to take it down because it got blasted on it. I'm never writing again.
Not being fast enough is a concern. Doing things like, there's always some ways to be like, well, you could have done it this way, and it's like, yeah, there's always lots of ways to do things. Stumbling around. When we're live coding, you're not necessarily talking to other people, so it's when I was live coding by myself, it's like, I don't know, kind of talking into the ether and just rambling at times. Although it is nice when you're doing it because you're almost using that as your rubber duck, right? Like, I'm trying to figure things out, so I'm talking it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of nice in that regard.
I like going on to Twitch. I don't go into Twitch very frequently anymore, but I like going onto Twitch and finding the developers who only have like 2 or 3 people watching them, and watching them, and it's like the same thing. Like I'd be literally the only person watching their stream, and they're talking like, they have a 1,000 viewers or something, which is great. I hope I can do that, because I'm terrible. Well, I don't know. I go back and forth. I either don't talk for a long time because I'm like really into something, or I start rambling and my wife thinks I'm crazy. Gotta let the dog out. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's when I was live coding, it was either feeling like I was being too quiet or trying to fill dead space, dead air. Trying to find that right level. Hey, was you trying the different distros just to see the difference between them? Is that what's going on? Putting them in the VM?
All right, Canary in the Code or WeWork with PHP? Which one do you guys like?
We work with PHP.
Okay, WeWork with PHP. It is. Thumbnail creator. WeWork with PHP. WeWork being one word. We uppercase W. Uppercase W's. WeWork. Wait, what are you talking about?
Who submitted that one?
Awoods.
Awoods is installing different distros in VMs and just trying to figure out which flavor of Linux.
Yeah.
Kevin Human. NorCal Kid is our thumbnail creator. Unpaid, as I recall, getting a little pay.
So, Awoods, if you're curious, the one I've been most happy with is the Linux distro. Is the Arch-based one. It's what I have running on my Pi, Manjaro. Yeah. Been really liking that one, but there was one I was hearing about that does rolling releases, which basically means your OS stays current with all the drivers and everything that are in the community. I mean, Manjaro is kind of Arch is kind of like that. What was that one? I was trying to rolling release distros. Let me see. Rolling release distros. I've been listening to more and more Linux podcasts again, of course, now that I'm not using it every day.
Kevin, the last one didn't really have an elephant. It had our logo as far as the thumbnail. Although I did like that they put a quote from Sarah G on the chalkboard. We're talking about thumbnails. Ignore us. It's just Kevin and I. We're just having a conversation.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, Jira's sort of rolling. Yeah, it is. This is the unstable for you, really. Honestly, I just use it on my Pi, and it works fantastic. Endeavor OS. I think Endeavor might actually be one of the ones I was thinking of.
Eric, did you create the thumbnail for the coming soon? That mechanical elephant?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That one was AI generated.
Yeah, all those are AI generated. Yeah. Wait, the coming soon? Wait, what are you talking about? Coming soon?
The current one that's up for tonight's live stream.
Oh yeah. I throw those in. I'll throw it in Discord. If somebody wants, does somebody want it? Yeah.
What do you mean? Why not branch outside of PHP for conference stuff?
We do. We have JavaScript and soft talks and all sorts of things.
I know. I want to know what they were meaning.
Oh, I guess I could have posted it without the PHP ugly stuff on there, huh? I gotta go get that from Canva.
Because PHP is in the title of it, PHP Tech.
Because we're PHP developers and it's what interests us? I don't know.
We're all about building community around PHP developers. PHP Tech was the conference that got me out of my shell as a developer back in 2010.
I've been trying to put him back in for years.
Yeah. It's more broad than some of the other conferences like Laracon or SymphonyCon or any of those that they focus on a piece of PHP. We're trying to make PHP developers better all around, not around a specific vendor. Yeah, I'm all about tight coupling. What can I say? I'm a terrible developer. That's not the same one, is it? Oh, I guess it is just flipped. Huh?
It is. I just flipped it. This was the one I was going to use and ended up not using it. Yeah, I have a whole library of elephants now that I rotate through. If you like any of these, Discord, let me know. I'll upscale them. These are not upscaled. They're just whatever Mind Journey kicks out.
Mid Journey.
Oh yeah, Mid Journey. I keep saying Mind Journey. Hey, did you figure out what's going on with the cover?
I'm assuming I just saved it low quality. I re-exported it and then sent it back for processing.
Oh, perfect. I'm so happy you caught that. All right. You guys can talk. What is with you, Tom? You're so weirdly quiet. Kind of enjoying it.
What?
So I made such a stupid mistake tonight. Beck had gone down last Friday, I think, to help with some water polo stuff, and I had ordered myself a pizza from a local place to, for dinner, right? And it was good. It was really good. And when they got home, they had some of it and said the same thing. So today, it was suggested we get pizza. I'm like, hey, I'll get the same pizza. But I thought, I'm like, I think I ordered a large last time and they were like really small. So I'll get like whatever their bigger size is. Well, it turned out I didn't order a large last time. I must have ordered a medium. And the pizza I ordered was ridiculously large. It's just the two of us now. And so like one slice of pizza was pretty much all I could eat. I muscled 2 slices down, and we still have so much pizza. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. There's so much pizza. I can't believe how big of a pizza I got. It's so stupid. And I have a real pet peeve about wasting food. It's a real issue for me. Like, I don't like wasting food. And so I'm already stressing about the fact that we're not going to be able to eat all this pizza. And I'm going to make myself sick trying to eat it all because I don't want to waste food. And but there's just so much pizza. I'm scared. I'm so scared. All right. What was this? 360? 360. WeWork with PHP. Yeah, it would have been a great week to have a meetup so I could bring this damn pizza. All right.
Cool. All right. I think time to wrap it up.
Oh, I had myself muted.
I say Tom's not saying anything, so sure.
There's 5 of us at the house, so we get the manhole-sized pizza every time we order.
Manhole? Oh, wow, that sounded so dirty the first time I heard it. Okay, okay, gotcha.
Kevin, you could submit to give a keynote at PHP Tech, just saying. You got good ideas. Good.
Yeah, I wish you were local here, Tom. I would run it over to your house. I wish we had a homeless shelter or something.
We have one on the kitchen table right now.
I think I was down in Hillcrest for Boo Bash. We talked about this for Boo Bash, right? So I'm down there, and I walked over to 7-Eleven and got myself a Coke because it was like 1,000,000 degrees in October in San Diego. So I go over to 7-Eleven and get a Coke, and they're like, hey, you get 2 slices of pizza with that. And I'm like, okay. And like, do you want it? I'm like, well, yeah, it's free pizza. Give it to me. But it's like 7-Eleven pizza, so it's horrible. So I took it outside, and it's Hillcrest, so like homeless people are not hard to come across. And I gave it to this homeless guy, and I think the guy was about to cry, man.
Yeah, you gave him 7-Eleven pizza. What the hell, man?
He is very happy. I'm like, I'm a good person. I really am a good person. I'm like, dude, I'm not questioning who you are, man. Don't worry about it. You just...
I wasn't.
Kind of suspicious now, but yeah, I felt bad for the guy. I always wish I could do more of that, like do the whole soup kitchen thing. I mean, you can. I just I don't have time. I don't have time, man. Prioritize myself. I should really do something like that. It's not convenient anymore. All right, I think that's it, people. I need to get the stream to end so I can get to editing some audio. So I do appreciate everybody hanging out with us. It's been a fantastic time. Oh, NorCal Kid, are you working on a thumbnail? Did they confirm their work?
They thumbs up, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Thanks, show everyone. Next week. Don't forget that. We will see you again in 2 weeks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.